U.S. is suspending sanctions on Syria for 180 days. The move follows what's been described as a historic meeting between Presidents Ahmed al-Sharaa and Donald Trump. Sharaa was greeted by some supporters outside the White House as he left. The State Department says while most restrictions have been lifted, transactions involving Russia and Iran remain prohibited. So al-Sharaa got what he wanted, Kimberly, some sanctions relief.
Well, what he got was an extension of sanctions that were lifted or relieved back in May. That was announced by Secretary Rubio of the State Department. And so this is largely symbolic because this was already in place. It has now been extended for another 6 months, something that the U.S. president has the power to do. What the Syrian president wanted was a complete lifting of what's known as the Caesar Act. And only the U.S. Congress can do that. So as a result, even though he did have a very lengthy meeting, we think it was about just under 2 hours with the U.S. president in the Oval Office, the U.S. president doesn't have the power to ultimately grant a full lifting of the Caesar Act, those sanctions against Syria that the U.S. Congress does. So that's why we know there is still a continued lobby effort underway by the Syrian leader with some members of Congress in order to try and achieve that goal in the long term.
And for Trump, Kimberly, what's he expecting in return?
Yeah, well, these two leaders really have struck up a bit of a rapport. They met back in the spring alongside the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia. And since then, the U.S. president has spoke very highly about President al-Sharaa. What he has said is that he's a tough guy, and they've really struck a bit of a relationship over their view of foreign investment and free markets. And so to that end, the U.S. president is hoping that as a result and we're waiting for a readout about what this meeting did accomplish. But the goal of the U.S. president was to get Syria to join the Abraham Accords. That is something he put in place in his first term, which allows for the normalization of relations between some Arab nations and Israel. He's looking to expand that, and he's hoping Syria will be one of those countries next to join.
Okay, thank you. Kimberly Halkett reporting from the White House.
Don't miss out, get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.